Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown Atlanta. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear, and you are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. Whoever you are, whatever path brought you here today, please know that you are welcome and celebrated. We know who you are. You are an individual expression of the divine life in which we all live. We are life's opportunity to be unique and wonderful. Whatever your ethnic background, religious affiliation, however you know yourself or describe yourself, your pronouns, your gender identities, we are glad you are joining us here today. You are welcome to become a part of this community in whatever way serves you. And here's our vision statement. We are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle through teaching, service, and practice. We create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. And now, something more about our Declaration of Principles by our founder, Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful.
So, we have with us a practitioner someone who has demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual laws to bring about great changes in their lives, and they've demonstrated they know how to bring about these changes in others when asked. Licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living, they're available to you to help provide spiritual guidance and support in those areas you're looking for assistance. You can contact them through our website, cslmidtown.org. And today we've got one of our amazing practitioners with us to share good ideas and an affirmative prayer called the Spiritual Mind Treatment. Welcome, Maya Fuller.
Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, CSL. It is so good to be together in this space of love and possibility. Today's topic is beyond the mask, your authentic power. And we're in for a great treat this morning. Our speaker today is Reverend Nicholas Gunn, who's going to walk us through this idea of rediscovering our true self and the freedom and the power that come with that. Today's talk, Beyond the Mask, your authentic power. But before we dive in, let's begin with the spiritual mind treatment to center ourselves and open to this moment together. So let's take a deep breath together. Gently turn inward as we anchor in the truth through this spiritual mind treatment. We just give thanks right now for this space and this opportunity to know the truth, that there is one presence, one power in the universe, infinite intelligent life, which lives and moves and has its being in all, through all, as all. There's one life. This life is infinite. The unseen presence behind all things. It is the life that animates the stars and breathes itself into every living being. This life is whole, perfect, and complete, and it is my life right now. I speak this word today, knowing that each person within the sound of my voice is a divine expression of this one life. We are not the roles we play or the masks we wear. Beneath the surface of personality, profession, and performance lies the truth of who we are, radiant beings of life, endowed with divine wisdom, love, and power. As we gather this day to move beyond the masks, I affirm that the veil of illusion falls away. Every idea of separation, every idea of false belief, of inadequacy or limitation is now dissolved in the light of truth. What remains is the authentic self, untouched, unshaken, and empowered. I claim for each one of us now the courage to stand in the clarity of our true identity, the grace to release what no longer serves, and I claim for us the joy of stepping into the fullness of our authentic power. This power is not force, it's presence. It is the power to meet life with peace, to move with purpose, and to radiate joy from within, regardless of outer circumstances. So in this moment, we stand in an overflow of gratitude to the sacred opportunity to remember who we truly are. I give thanks for the divine guidance that unfolds this message, for the hearts that are ready to receive this message, and for the transformations that are already underway through this message. I release this word into the law, knowing that it is done, and so it is.
And it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker this morning. Reverend Nicholas has an interesting backstory. He was raised in a very secular family in a very secular and rural northern New Hampshire. When he discovered New Thought, however, it completely changed his life. Since then, he's been on an intense path of study and service that has led him to share with us today some of the wisdom he's picked up along the way. Reverend Nicholas has done a serious study in 3 major New Thought traditions. He's completed study as a practitioner of both religious science and divine science paths. He's also a ministerial preparatory student with Unity Urban Ministerial School. And Reverend Nicholas is recently credentialed as New Thought minister and graduate from the Emerson Theological Institute. He holds a master's degree in religious studies, as well as 2 undergraduate degrees in religious studies and business administration. Reverend Nicholas coordinates the prayer ministry at Unity of Pompano Beach, Florida, where he regularly teaches classes and serves as a featured speaker. Welcome, Reverend Nicholas, today.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Thanks for that introduction. I had the opportunity to speak for you all at CSL Midtown one time before, and it was such a blast. I was so glad when you guys invited me to come back. It's truly my honor. One of the things I love the most about speaking for you is that you like to follow the CSL weekly themes. They're always so spiritually relevant, always very timely. And this week, we're wrapping up a celebration of Pride Month with a specific focus on spiritual wisdom and fearlessness of drag culture. Well, reading that, I had immediate inspiration. There's so much to draw on from that source, that fount of wisdom, that great expression of the divine. So I'm excited to share with you today. I'm going to start with a personal story. In my late 20s, I got into a relationship that changed my life. You see, my family didn't really have any sort of spirituality when I grew up. I didn't really have a personal spiritual practice or faith, so I didn't really get it. Until one day, I started dating a metaphysical minister who led a small church in South Florida. He was the one that introduced me to these New Thought ideas for the first time. He encouraged me to read spiritual books from Ernest Holmes, Emily Cady, and others. Spirit worked through him to guide me on this path towards ministry. So I have the pleasure to serve you all today. Ministry wasn't his only gig. However, he had a side hustle, so to speak. He was also a drag queen. He loved to travel, and I had the opportunity to travel with him quite a bit. He was always trying to line up his Sunday morning talks with some kind of Friday evening drag show he was participating in. He was a great character impersonator. He had some really good ones. His favorite was Thelma Harper, Mama, from Carol Burnett show, Mama's Family. He was more than a good likeness. He had that character totally down. The personality, the mannerisms, the voice, everything was just perfect. He really became the character whenever he went out as Mama. And once or twice, he even talked me into going with him as Eunice, the character Carol Burnett played. And I kind of pulled it off, mostly due to that excellent costume and wig that he made for me. It's really something when you put on that character, put on that wig, put on that dress, and the makeup, of course, you become somebody completely different. The entire person you present to the world, your entire personality, it changes. And it's fun to play with personality in that way. See how those change the way you look at the world. So anyway, we traveled a lot, driving all over with a packed trunk full of wigs and makeup, dresses, shoes, you name it, all the drag accoutrements. Also, we had all the needful things for ministry, including what he called his church drag, minister's robes and stoles, all that stuff hanging up in the back seat. It was quite a sight. So one day, there we are driving down the highway, traveling somewhere, and we get pulled over at a traffic stop. I don't exactly remember why. I think they were stopping every car getting off at that particular exit. Video clipped out for a minute there. The police come and they take a peek in the car. They can see the robes through the black window. So they ask my partner, "What's that hanging up in the back seat?" He says, "They're my ministerial robes. I'm traveling to do a worship service." Well, for whatever reason, they decided to search our vehicle. I don't remember exactly why. I think they were searching every vehicle at that exit. So we get out of the car. They asked my partner to open the trunk. Right there in the open, plain as day to everyone driving by the exit, were all of his drag things. The shoes, dresses, wigs, the works. Everything he used to look like a woman. Clearly visible when you open that trunk. I'll never forget it. The police officer looks right at my boyfriend and says, "I thought you said you were a minister. Now, how exactly does that fit into your ministry?" How exactly does that fit into your ministry? I'll never forget it. I've been thinking about that question off and on ever since. I'm convinced that when my partner, when any drag queen, puts on that wig and that dress, it's the light of God shining through them. That light is joy. That light is love. That presence, that happiness, that joyfulness. Spirit works through us. And as the great Johnny Coleman said, it works if you work it. Well, if anybody knows how to work it, it's a drag queen. There's a lesson there. Drag can be spiritual work. So today I'm going to answer that question that nosy police officer asked all those years ago. How exactly does this fit in to ministry? How does this fit into our spiritual work? What are the spiritual lessons for all of us from the wonderful, powerful, and joyful drag community? The first point I want to talk about is that face that we show the world, our personality. Charles Fillmore in Jesus Christ Heals taught us that we are all in our personality wearing the mask that conceals the real, the spiritual I am. Wearing the mask. So our personality, that face we show the world, is a mask. The word personality actually comes from the Latin word persona, which means mask. Our personality is in truth that mask we wear. It's a self that we like to show, what we like people to see about ourselves at a given moment, keeping up appearances, so to speak. We do this in our everyday lives. We're always putting on a show in some form. And this personality is something we can change. We can change the face we're showing to the world, change how we present ourselves to others at any time. There's a lesson there in drag culture. So here's another quote I want to share from another great metaphysician. I'm sure you've heard of RuPaul. We're all born naked, and the rest is drag. Take a moment to really think about the idea. It's not a joke. We're all born naked, and the rest is drag. That's a powerful spiritual idea. We come into this world with nothing. All those cultural ideas, gender roles, those personality masks about how men and women should act and dress. Men are supposed to like sports, wear pants, neutral, earthy colors. Women are supposed to be more artistic, wear dresses and makeup. That's all drag. That's all drag. It's all personality. It's all a show. It's not who we are in truth. We get in trouble individually and collectively as a society because we forget that. We think men and women are supposed to act, present, behave a certain way. Many people think that people are supposed to either present as male or female, ignoring the beautiful diversity of expression that is possible. That's a limiting and damaging idea for us, and it no longer serves for many. All these masks that we wear, this personality, it's so constrictive and it can be damaging. How many women have been held back, restricted, sidelined in their careers, perhaps, because they're supposed to act like a good girl, not be too assertive or forceful? That's a mask of personality. It no longer serves. How many men live in a box about this size of their own false personality, feeling like they can't express their emotions because it's not masculine, internalizing and hiding all their pain until it builds to a breaking point? And how many people feel constricted by either gender role? Neither one of these fits them completely. They want to find a new and wonderful expression of the divine, their own synthesis, their own non-binary expression. But they're ostracized, stigmatized for it because they're not playing by the rules. In unity, we have our 12 spiritual powers, 12 faculties every human being has that make up the divine self. And these gender roles that I'm talking about, men are supposed to have more strength. Women are supposed to be more loving and caring, compassionate. But in truth, we have all the strength. We have all the love we need at all times because we all have access to this great, indwelling, limitless, infinite potential that's always with us. That's the spiritual lesson for us. The spiritual wisdom from drag culture. We are all in drag. All of us. Every day. We wear that mask of personality. Same as a drag queen puts on a wig and a dress. We step into character every day, making a choice of how we present in the world. And we have that choice of how to present, a choice to be our authentic self. You are created in the image, likeness of the divine. The real you is divine. You are God's love expressing, God's joy, peace, compassion in the world. You're a presence in the world for that. I want to bring in now some wisdom from Ernest Holmes. I think can help us here. This is from The Spiritual Universe in You. You and I will have to learn how to live by living. We have lived too much by limitation. Now let us make up our minds that God, the supreme intelligence, has hidden within each of us the very essence of its own being. and let us alone to discover it ourselves. First of all, we must have a conviction that there is such a real self behind this mask we wear. How can we possibly account for those inner strivings we have, the feelings that stir within us, unless they are echoes of some deep self-wishing to reveal itself? What we call our personality is merely the use we are making of a presence within us that waits our greater recognition of it. Always timely and relevant, Ernest Holmes. So behind these masks of personality we wear is the real self, our true identity. It's the very essence of God right within us. This personality we're showing is an echo of some part of this divinity. But how can we more fully express our divine identity? How can we be our authentic selves? In Lessons in Truth, Emily Cady makes a distinction between the personality we show the world and our true spiritual identity. She calls it the distinction between personality and individuality. Personality is that mask we show the world, the persona, everything we've been talking about so far. Individuality, that's our true identity, our real self, our divinity. To fully express ourselves as expressions of the divine, we must let go of those limiting beliefs of personality that are holding us back. Whatever role you're playing, when you put on that mask, you're limiting yourself in some way. The spiritual lesson in drag is that we can always change that outer personality. We have the power to choose to change how we present everything, all the way down to the gender we show. It's all a performance. We have the power to choose. And when we do, everything changes. We change. We become more joyful. The mask becomes a game, the game of life, and we finally really play it. Life becomes a party. You can choose any of your spiritual powers, any of those divine attributes, and try it on. Try on a more loving personality. Try on a more joyful one. Try on wisdom or strength or peace. Whatever spiritual power you're seeking can be yours more fully, and you can express it more fully. Take that spiritual idea into prayer. Really feel that power filling through you, flowing through you right now. And you can express it more fully in your personality. You can be that presence. You aren't limited to any one expression, and you can change at any time. God is love. Spirit is love. We become more powerful and authentically express spirit whenever we demonstrate this love. Be the presence of love in the world. Love powerfully, openly, whoever you choose. Love people, love humanity, and joyfully show it. Love radically, especially those society deems unlovable. The radicals, the nonconformers, those who buck the norms and expectations. They are the light of the world. And you are the light of the world when you choose to see the good, always present in everyone. So the spiritual lesson from drag culture is that we're all in drag. Each of us is putting on a show of our own making, choosing how we present in the world. This can be liberating and empowering if we are aligned with our divine nature and fully expressing the love that is spirit. This can be joyful or powerful or any divine attribute we choose to align with, as long as we authentically express it. So I want to finish today with a call to action for you. I encourage you to take time this week in your own prayer, your own meditation, really reflect on that mask of personality that you wear every day. Is it really empowering? Is it really liberating? Or are there ways in which it's holding you back? Maybe there's a particular power or attribute you feel you could express more fully. So choose that spiritual power or attribute you want to focus on for that day, be it love, joy, strength, whatever it is. Start your day with a treatment, affirming it is yours right now. You are joy expressing. You are strength. You are love expressing in the world. Know that truth. Become it. Let it shape your outer personality. And see how much your day changes. Your thinking changes your life because you are powerful beyond measure. You have a choice. You always have a choice. You can choose to change how you present. Try on a new role. Try on a new, more loving, more compassionate, more authentic expression of the divine that you are. You are powerfully and wonderfully made. It's time to choose to be that in the world, now and always. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Nicholas. That was a powerful talk. Thank you so much. All right. And for those of you that want to have further discussion about that, join him on Zoom after the service. So now I'm going to do our new minister sacred covenant easy prayer. So you can join me with this, reading this. You can download it from cslmidtown.org on the homepage. So there is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. And knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of spirit as principle. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written, principle is not bound by precedent. It operates according to law, and it is always available to those who are willing to align themselves with it. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as inspiring spiritual oneness through wisdom and authenticity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself. For I am inspired to live as love in the expression of principle. I am awakening the wisdom within me by clearly communicating the principles of universal truth. I am a conduit of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy, recognizing the inherent wholeness within all beings. I am offering teachings, classes, and mystical studies grounded in spiritual principles to cultivate inner wisdom, personal transformation, and empowered living. I am extending the love, compassion, and transformative power of spirit into the wider community, fostering connections that heal, uplift, and support individuals in their unique journeys. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will express spirit and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful. God is gracious, and so it is. And now it's time for conscious giving. So you can donate at cslmidtown.org/donate. You can go there or scan the QR code. It'll take you right there. Set up a ongoing donation or a one-time donation. And to the end of getting us a new minister, we need more contributions. So invite your friends to come. I would say that. And if you will, say with me our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. So next week, I would like to thank Maya Fuller for being our practitioner today, Reverend Nicholas for being our speaker, and July, our new theme is Rolling in the Deep. We're going to be in person and online next week, so join us if you're in the Atlanta area at the Garden Hills Community Center. Reverend Jean Bell is going to be our speaker, speaking on living spiritual principles, what come what may. The adult study group starts at 10 a.m. on Sundays, so you can join that. They're going through the entire Science of Mind textbook, so whether you've read it or not, come join. They have a lively discussion about whatever that week's study was. You can download the New Minister Sacred Covenant Easy Prayer and read that along with us every day to get into our consciousness, the attraction of that new minister to us. And now you can join us on Zoom after this for a discussion with Reverend Nicholas. So let's do our affirmation of life. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next week.